Out by Lorenzo Styles, looking for that crease. Lorenzo Styles gets a block. Lorenzo Styles, the former wide receiver, with a house call. Ohio State royalty to the crib.
The Ohio State of Mind podcast, hosted by Josh Keeley and Chris Runyon. Oh, welcome back to another episode of the Ohio State of Mind podcast. As always, I am Chris. To my left, my hetero life mate, Josh. Josh, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, man. Yeah, that kickoff return, bro. Woo.
Right?
I mean, it's been what?
15 years.
Jordan Hall
in Michigan, my friend.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Hopefully that's a sign of good things to come, dude, with the special teams. We've talked about Lorenzo Styles Jr. and being an electric athlete. He used to be a wide receiver at Notre Dame and all that. So hopefully this is a sign.
15 years since a Buckeye kickoff return for a touchdown. At the same time, first on the team, but arguably the deepest hairline of anyone on the team. That sucker comes down to here. Have you seen the hairline on Lorenzo Styles? Good for him. All right. As I'm combing this shit over, make it look dependable. Good for him. Will chimes in. Welcome. What's going on, man? Aaron and I was getting worried about you guys. We're always here unless I'm not here, and then Josh is here, so we're good. We're good.
Someone's always here.
Someone's always here, like Motel 6. We'll keep a light on. I don't know which one, but obviously,
that's right.
I live on the installation, so I don't pay electric bill. Anyway, I keep all the lights on. Right? Just
What's the name of that guy? What's the name of that guy?
Which guy?
From the commercials. What's the guy from the commercials? This is Bear here.
Oh, I know, man.
Keep the lights. Wasn't he like an author? He's like a legit.
Have your dad play this one back if he's not watching. He'll let us know.
Tom Bodett.
Bodett. I'm Tom Bodett from Motel 6. We'll keep the lights. God damn, that's a good pool, man. That's a good pool.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit. You want to tell me who's? You want to tell me what the college football rankings look like tomorrow while you're at it?
So check that when we first moved into the house, Justine would leave every fucking light on, bro.
Okay.
Light on. So I could control her TV, her smart TV from my phone. So
right.
She'd go to bed. We'll just fucking play. I would hack it. Get on her YouTube and play. This is Tom Bodett. I leave the light up for you. It's like 2:00 in the morning. She gets so fucking pissed, bro.
That's great, dude. I haven't heard Tom Bodett in 25 years. Will chimes in. Sure, you guys have heard that Franklin's going to VT. Seems like a good move. I heard that they're finalizing a deal. Obviously, we're talking two programs of different stature of Penn State and Virginia Tech, but I feel like James Franklin's only going to play one top 10 team next year. That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It's not bad.
I don't know. I thought it was a weird hire because Virginia Tech is one of those jobs. First of all, dude, it's such a weird topic because we don't know where jobs are anymore. 5 years ago, we would know. We would be able to tell you, like, this is the best job. This is the ranking system. A lot like the video game, right? You go in there, prestige level. A lot of that stuff's accurate. But now it's not like that because of the NIL situation. These boosters and these other elements have come in and say, we're going to provide this amount of money. I know Virginia Tech was promised. I don't know, Chris, maybe you could pull it up. I'll have to Google it. $30 million, $40 million in the offseason. Now, But that's the other thing, too. It's like no one knows if these numbers are accurate. No one knows if these numbers are going to the football roster. No one knows if they're going to women's basketball. No one knows if they're going to be split up, if they're going to go to stadium renovations. So we're hearing all these numbers out there, but rumor has is that Virginia Tech is going to be like a top 3 player in the ACC, which is a big deal because you got Miami, who's always going to be a major player. I don't know if Florida State's the player was. I know it is, but I don't think that they get like Miami gets like major backing from like 1 or 2 people. I think Florida State was more of a community thing, and I don't know if that's happening. Whatever. Long story short, I guess my assumption was Virginia Tech had enough cachet to go for an up-and-coming guy like Eric Morris. What Eric Morris has done at North Texas, what he's done at Incarnate Word, right? He's an up-and-comer. He's young. He runs an exciting offense. He played under Mike Leach at Texas Tech, so that kind of gives you what he does, right? Somebody like that. I didn't think that they'd go to James Franklin, who flamed out at Penn State. And I think that James Franklin was wrongly fired from Penn State. I think that James Franklin is a good coach. I want to be very clear. Just like Mike, I would be making the same comments about Mike Gundy. When Mike Gundy was fired from Oklahoma State, I came on the podcast and I was like, "What? How could you do that?" But I would still be shocked if Virginia Tech hired that guy, because you would expect them to hire the next guy, right? You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, and I don't think James Franklin's that. I don't think, and I think by now everybody kind of realizes you're not going to win championships with James Franklin, and I think Virginia Tech. That potential is there. I mean, it wasn't that long ago when they had Mike Vick and, they were playing Beamer ball, and they were, and Marcus Vick, and they were at the top of the world there for a bit, right? So yeah, it's a little shocking for me. A little shocking.
You were right. Virginia Tech Board of Advisors, they approved a $229 million athletic investment that was to boost the ACC's competitiveness, and $30 million of that was dedicated to the football program.
I don't know if that's a lot of money. It sounds like it is, though, right?
Virginia Tech. That's a lot of money for Virginia Tech. Yeah. Without question. Will chimes in. Possible, but Morris is looking for something bigger.
What's bigger, though? You know what I mean? Like what's
his ceiling and what is bigger?
Well, I mean, even if what's a bigger job? Virginia Tech. I mean, is Penn State a better job than Virginia Tech? Theoretically, yeah. But the expectations are higher. You don't have this, but we just talked about how Virginia Tech, that $30 million might put them in the stratosphere in the ACC. That's not going to do shit in the Big Ten, right? Is it the UCLA a better job? Probably, but they've struggled. They're in the basement. I don't know. Is Florida a better job? Maybe. I don't. But you're playing in the ACC again. These are things I don't really know anymore. I simply don't know. There's so many other factors there, especially with the expanded playoffs, NIL. I just don't know.
I won't argue with that. One bit. We did have our final night game in the shoe this past Saturday. The Buckeyes came out victorious 48-10, 2 weeks in a row, held opponents to 10 points or less. Josh, hot takes on the game?
Dude, there's no hot takes. Ohio State looked perfect. I didn't even go back and watch it a second time, to be completely honest with you. Usually I try to go back and, at least fast forward to the drives I missed or I wasn't quite paying attention to. No, Ohio State looked great, man. The offense was cruising. They're dominant. I'm getting real sick of everybody talking about how shitty the schedule is. Like, I saw some people be like, "Oh, Nico is out." UCLA, they didn't even get the full UCLA. Dude, it didn't matter if they had fucking Joe Montana out there. They had a great game plan. Everybody stepped up. That was probably my favorite part, is that we saw Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith out. I bitched a couple weeks ago when Carnell Tate went out. I thought that there was going to be an opportunity for someone to step up, and no one did. I feel like we saw
last week,
yeah. Was that just last week?
Last week, my friend.
Dude, it's just crazy how fast a week goes, because, I mean, we saw Quincy Porter, we saw Mayan Graham, like all those guys look really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was happy. I was happy with the defense. I was happy with the offense. I was happy with Julian. Not a lot to bitch about, dude.
Okay. I am going to agree with you, because I knew you brought it up last week, and I wanted to obviously touch that again. I knew you were unsatisfied last week's performance. We sit and we talk about this wide receiver room and who's got a better wide receiver room than us that brings in more talent, and they didn't get any of those big catchy flare passes or what have you. Didn't make those big plays. But I think everybody had a nice, if it wasn't a touchdown, it was a nice ball over the middle, or, a nice contested catch or what have you. I thought everyone showed some strengths, and I was pleased. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not concerned. I'm am not concerned when it comes to, obviously after next week, we're going to look at an uptick in competition. I think there's no argument there. Yes. I just
Yes.
can't,
Yeah.
and there were times, I mean, you had no issue with it. There were times that the Buckeyes stalled on offense, looked a little bit out of place, if you would. Ryan Day was visibly upset about it too. If I was upset about anything for that game on Saturday night, it was the length of the game. My goodness, does NBC draw out a night game? Oh my God,
dude! Right?
They drug that game out. Oof.
I looked at Justine and I was like, dude, is it just Max has been waking up at 5:30 in the morning, so like my sleep schedule's all fucked up anyways. But I looked at her and I'm like, man, I'm really struggling to stay awake. Like, is this game really long or is it just me? Like, just me being fucked up? And she's like, no, it's a really long game. Like, yeah. But yeah, the offense stalled out a couple times, but I thought all those times were, I don't want to say justified because that makes sense. One was Julian Sand was trying to make a play, and maybe he got greedy. I think a lot of it can be attributed to him not having a great connection with some of these backup receivers. I think that you're gonna see that. CJ Donaldson was out too, and I know that no one really cares. I shouldn't say that. I know that he's not the star back, right? It's not Bo Jackson, but he plays a vital role. Every game he's had a short yardage situation where Ohio State's relied on, and you could tell he was gone, but they still had plans. I thought the young running back stepped up. I just felt like every time something bad happened for Ohio State, I could justify it. And the week before, I couldn't. It was like, dude, you got to catch that ball. Why are you not catching that ball? Right? Like Julian Sand trying to make something happen. Sometimes that's going to work. Devin Sanchez got kind of ran out of the building a couple times in the second half. But we talked about the UCLA receivers. Those UCLA receivers, they have a lot of talent at the skill position, and they didn't put their backups in. So, that's going to happen. If your number 4 cornerback is going to get beat by the opposing team's number 1 wide receiver, let's have at it, bro. Let's see what he can do. Yep. So, like I said, every time something struggled or something looked like it didn't go to plan, I kind of justified it, man. I really did.
No, I can easily get on board with that. I will say, being honest with you, I don't think we saw a bad quarterback play out of UCLA with Luke Duncan. For 16 to 23, 150, 154 yards and a touchdown. Yes, we were rotating some guys in there. Yes, he's on the opposite side or the losing side of a 38-point loss. But I thought Luke Duncan looked good for the opportunity he was given. I didn't think he played bad. At the same time,
I was just saying I agree with you 100%. I'm glad you brought that up because everybody's talking shit because Nico didn't play, and it's like, dude, I don't know if the gap between Nico and this guy,
right?
I mean, I think it's big. I think it's good. I do think there's a gap there, but I don't think it's earth shattering.
The athleticism
Does that make sense?
gap, sure. The athleticism gap.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's definitely a different quarterback. But would UCLA be worse with this guy starting? I don't know if that's the truth, dude.
I really don't. I can't say. I was pleased. We were talking. Hey, you said yourself Donaldson was out, but at the same time, Bo Jackson, Isaiah West, James People, they averaged 7 yards and a carry in this game.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was pleasantly surprised with that. James People, 6 carries, 2 of those ended up being touchdowns. Isaiah West got in the end zone as well, averages 7.6. Bo Jackson took the brunt of the carries with 15 and he broke the century mark for 112 yards rushing and a touchdown. You saw everyone get involved. I mean, Mylan Graham, Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Enos, Bryson Rogers, Claire, Nate Roberts, Quincy Porter, Isaiah West, James People all caught balls in this game.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So I came, I turned on,
and there were no ugly drops, right? Before we right?
No, there was no ugly drops. I think honestly, I was maybe I just caught something on my eye. I kept waiting for the replay of that Bryson Rogers touchdown because I could have sworn he went out of bounds and then came back and touched the ball, but no one batted an eye about it. But everybody got their shine, really. yeah, they kept the ones in there. We started rotating the twos. Happened last week as well. It is what it is. But obviously, we dashed those hopes real quick with a 101-yard return by Lorenzo Styles, and what a beauty it was. He went on record, him and Ryan Day afterwards, saying he knew that he was taking it pretty deep in the end zone, so he might as well return the whole damn thing. And that was a great little sound bite there. Will chimes in. Do the players get bored not being challenged? I hope the lack of experience last year in the leaders show the others how to step up to the next level. Can't get caught with mouth. Yeah, no. It's do the players get bored? I think we've. I mean, Will, you're here every week. I don't think the players get bored. No one gets tired of winning. Ask Nick Saban that. No one gets tired of winning, but have they been challenged? There were times they have been challenged this year. Hey, week 1, they were definitely challenged. There was a time where if they weren't challenged or if they didn't feel threatened against Illinois, Matt Patricia came out there and had the defense step up. They challenged themselves in a sense. But yeah, you're right. We've talked all year long that this season has been broken down into 3 parts: the first half, the second half, and then Michigan in the playoffs. And we're getting ramped up into it. You've seen yourself. We're okay. We have the depth. We're willing to, take, shade on the side of precautionary with some of our stars, our studs, if you would. And I mean, we'll talk about, Rutgers here in a few, but I'd be surprised if we see some of them. I'd be surprised if we see some of the individuals who maybe got a little less snaps. You'll see some of these individuals who stepped up and made some plays this last week in this game next week or on Saturday.
Yeah, dude. I feel so much better. Maybe I shouldn't, because it's just 1 game sample size, especially since it's a game after I bitched. But a lot can change, right? We know these guys are all talented. We know that they check all the physical boxes. So you just need to know that their head's in it and that they're ready to step up, right?
Yeah.
And I felt like they showed that. You're in prime time. They clearly told these young guys, dude, you're going to get another shot, bro. And they all look good. Bryson Rogers looked good. Quincy Port. I mean, they all look like a couple more weeks of seasoning, and they're going to be someone's going to pop off in the playoffs. Same with the running back. CJ Donaldson was. We saw Isaiah West block like shit last week. We saw James Peoples run like a puss boy for a good chunk of the season, and that's not what happened. He hit the fucking hole hard. He was very deliberate with how he moved. We saw Isaiah West still not block great, but at least he got in the way this time, which is was an improvement for him. Yes. So I'm happy with it. Back to the point about are these guys getting bored? I don't think that you get bored. I can't speak from experience because I think Valpo. I think we won 1 game when I was in college, and it was not a blowout. But you don't get bored. I think that Ryan Day does do a good job too of like rotating these guys in to where you're constantly trying to show what you can do. Yeah. Right.
Every snaps are an audition on this team. They really are.
Exactly. I think that there's snaps where you can catch someone getting sleepy. I think Igman Noson's pretty guilty of that. They're up. I think that the linebackers can get guilty of that too. They're just kind of walking through the motions when they're up by so many. But that's pretty rare, not often. So.
No, I won't argue that. Aaron jumps in with Washington was even a low-key challenge. I would agree. Penn State at half as well. Yeah, again, if they weren't a challenge, if it wasn't, Penn State, put up those 14 points. But, Chris of old, I'd be, nervous, scared, shaking my boots. But I've seen this defense play, and I've seen them either be challenged or challenge themselves, and they play stellar defense the rest of the game. Offense comes out with their hair on fire, and I mean I think this Buckeye team understands that. We're getting ourselves right. Obviously, you see Carnell Tate being held out. You see precautionary measures taken with Jeremiah Smith as well. I mean, this team is going to face adversity. They're going to face pressure. They're going to face, top 10, teams here in the upcoming weeks. And, I think he's got them all in the mindset that it's almost go time, and pressure is a privilege to be, as an Ohio State Buckeye. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and Each one of those games too, like even like Washington, right? First of all, that's one of the other issues that I'm having with the media right now is that they're acting like these teams that they said were going to be good, all of a sudden they're not good when Ohio State played. The Texas one is the perfect example, right? Texas they're fighting for a playoff spot. They very well may end up in the. I don't think they will, but they might. They're fighting for a playoff spot, right? They're ranked in the top 15 or so. Well, when Ohio State played them, they were bad. Like, dude, it doesn't really work that way. You know what I mean? Like, can you get better? Yes. Do you hit your groove? Yes. But Ohio State did too, so it's like that's not really fair. And the Washington thing too, like, Julian Saint went out there on the West Coast. Washington's lost one game home in the last like 3 years or some shit. Like these things aren't something to sneeze at. You can take something away from every single game. And the reason why Penn State, despite them being horrible, is still a good game is because they're one of the few teams in the country that can manhandle you in the trenches, right? That's where you really got to get tested, right, is the trenches, because there's not every week you're going to go up there. It's much easier to dominate in the trenches because you just don't see that, right? Like when I was at Ohio State and I tried to walk on, there were kids that were throwing up that like couldn't even do the tests that made it as walk-ons just because they were huge. Right. Because it was like, dude, you don't see that out in the wild, right?
Right.
But the kid from Grambling, the quarterback from Grambling, that guy couldn't move around. The difference between him and some of the quarterbacks in the Big Ten wasn't huge. You know what I mean? Like, so to that point, my point is that there's the Penn State one may be a little bit more valuable because they have those hosses up front. But even the game against Grambling, there's something to take away. How do you contain a quarterback that moves around, that scrambles well, right? Like, how do you, there's something to take away. So I don't care if the competition's bad or not. And I don't think it really is that bad.
No, I'm not going to say that at all. You're going to see the game of the year in 2 weeks. And then after that, we're going to see arguably number one versus number two. And it's what everybody wants to see. It's the measuring stick for the college football playoffs is going to be 1 and 2 in a couple weeks, hopefully.
And I'm telling you right now, Ohio State is going to struggle worse with Michigan than they are Indiana. I'm calling it right the fuck now. Whatever that Indiana spread is, I'm laying the fucking points, dude.
It is the 17th of November. It is 9:27 East Coast, 6:27 West Coast. Josh says he's laying it. He's laying that line.
They're not gonna have.
Will jumps in. Did you hear NBC speak about Saraville plays nasty? I did see that the Montgomery had it in him. Also, did you see that the right guard had? Saraville got a lot of praise from who was it up there? Todd Blackledge and that guy that looks like Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, they were loving, they were loving on him, as well as Philip Daniels. I thought Philip Daniels had a good game. Really chimes in. Wilson, I'm with you on that, Josh. I thought the offensive line played better, and it was obviously you're going to say the offensive line plays better when you have 4 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, they played better, but no, they played visibly better. They played. They were getting out to that second level with ease. They were staying with blocks. They were coming around, pulling guards, getting out to it. They looked good.
Now, granted, the UCLA defense is fucking horrible. But with that said, there's nothing to bitch about. Yeah, Luke Montgomery is a fucking dog. Saraville's been a fucking dog. Saraville, it's Ohio State really lucked out with him because out of all these star recruits that they got off the line, and he was a 4-star. Don't kid yourself, but they never anticipated. I don't think anybody anticipated him being the stalwart that he is, if that makes sense.
Okay,
we saw a lot of hype about Onyenawa from Rice. We knew Luke Montgomery. There was a lot of hype around Luke Montgomery. That kid, he played with Bronny James, great basketball player. Look at his feet. So I don't want to, Luke Montgomery was not a sleeper, but Saraville, man, I don't think he gets the props. It's good to see him finally get the props.
Very much so. Very much so. At the same time, Buckeyes win, obviously, 48-10. We're pleasantly surprised with the the lack of depth that we saw last week, the lack of depth the lack of explosive plays from that depth last week. But it looks like that everybody got a chance. Everybody got a little taste of some of the shine this week. Any closing remarks on the Buckeyes' 48-10 victory over UCLA, my friend?
No, man, I thought they looked great. I don't know how anybody can watch them and just bitch about them. And that's just, it seems to be, I don't know. Ohio State's just the villain, I guess. It's just really weird, man. It's really fucking weird. It's really fucking weird, dude.
It comes with that number one spot. There's no question about it. Aaron Jimson might get ahead of yourself, but what's the injury news?
The Cardinal Tate thing is a little concerning. So is the CJ Donaldson thing, because we were told that Cardinal Tate would be ready to roll, and he wasn't.
Yep.
CJ Donaldson kind of came out of nowhere. Jeremiah Smith, I know people are worried about that. I wouldn't be. I was under the understanding that if he had to go back out there, he could. I don't know, man. The Cardinal Tate thing and CJ Donaldson, those are the ones that bum me out because I don't know what's going on.
Validly so. Well, with that being said, Buckeyes, Scarlet Knights this Saturday. Do you anticipate to see either of those gentlemen? Any of those three? I'm sorry.
No. If they're even bumped or bruised, keep them out, dude.
I don't. I would anticipate not even dressing them this week.
Yeah.
Be honest with you. I
mean, maybe dress them in case, because you know what I mean? I would hate, because Rutgers isn't bad. I mean, Rutgers isn't horrible. Rutgers is a good team. Rutgers is better than UCLA for sure.
I would agree with you there.
There is a chance that if the game before Michigan they come out fucking sleepy, Rutgers takes advantage with the Greek pistol. Like
yes.
It's a slim chance, but it is out there. You know what I mean?
I thought Saraville would be at right guard rotation. Why did he not start last year when we lost the left tackle? It was a revolving door week by week, honestly, last season.
So my understanding too is Saraville was practicing at guard all that you don't want to, and this makes sense. You don't want to make a change like that if the person's never played there or the person has limited snaps there. A. B. God, who did they move there? He plays for the Vikings now. Dude, this is bad. This is bad, bro. Who was they moved him out to go? Donovan Jackson. Jackson. Donovan Jackson, everybody knew that guy could play tackle. Everybody knew Donovan Jackson was supposed to play tackle when he came to Ohio State. So moving him out there was and it worked out too. That was obviously the best call. But yeah, that's kind of what that happened. And then this past offseason, they're like, well, let's try to experiment. We want Saraville. They kind of knew after winter workouts that they wanted Saraville on the field. Yeah. They knew that they had to put him out there.
Yes.
Then it just so happened left tackle was the best spot.
No, I can agree with it. Josh, who are we looking at? Who might or might not catch our eyes on this Scarlet Knights team?
I mean, it's the Rutgers, right? So they always have a good defense. This year has not been the case, actually, believe it or not. But they still have some studs on their defense. They're just kind of like leaky, I guess. It's still, I would say, in that front seven, you still got guys like Eric O'Neill, who's going to be he's going to be a draft pick. He's going to be an NFL player. The other linebacker, Daniel Jabmone, that guy's going to play in the NFL, right? Those guys are guys that play out of the world. God, what's his name? Is it Daniel? Yeah, Daniel. Yeah. And then their offensive line's tough too. I would say that their offensive line is probably just as good as it was last year, maybe a little bit better. Brian Felcher is one of those guys. He's probably going to be in the NFL as well. But the offense is pretty good. I mean, like we talked about the Greek pistol a little bit. We've seen some games where he's thrown it around the block. DT Sheffield is a wide receiver transfer from North Texas, really a quick guy. Not great, but he's quick. Antoine Raymond has been their primary running back. He's no Manun guy, but he's they're productive. They're not horrible. They're not a bad team. But I think that we're going to be able to learn a lot about I think that the defensive line of Rutgers is much, much better than the defensive line of UCLA. So we saw some improvement from the offensive line. If we see it again this week, it's probably real. Yeah, it was probably fallacy against UCLA.
Valid. I can see that. If Tate and Smith are possible, Enos looked banged up. Also, who's your 1 through 3? I'd like to see get Grant going. I think I saw what you're saying with Enos looking banged up. He did take a hit on the Ohio State sideline. He was kind of a little slow to get up, but he continued playing. Hey, if it's Tate and Smith, they still got anything that is potentially lingering. Again, I say you sit them. You don't think Brandon Enos would be chopping at the bit to be the number 1 on this team for a week? Absolutely.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Without question. I think even if he's hurt, he's chomping at the bit to be the number 1 receiver on this Buckeye team for a week, without question. But who would you put 2 and 3?
Yeah, no, first of all, I agree with you about Brandon Ennis. If Brandon Ennis is bumped and bruised, he's fucking playing, right? That's a guy who's not really safe anyway, so he's going to want to show out. I guess, God, that's hard. I mean, Mylan Graham's clearly been a dude that they throw out there.
Bryson Rogers has taken a majority of those number three snaps these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that makes sense too because he's the only one that started a game last year.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense, right? You know, I know that they love Quincy Porter. We've seen a lot of Quincy Porter, so it's hard to completely eliminate that. God,
I tell you,
yeah, I guess that's the ranking. Bryson Rogers, and Mylan Graham.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm in year 2027 of my college football 26 dynasty. You getting a lot of feedback, or is it just me?
Yeah, dude.
You're hearing that? Okay, I'm in my. You hearing that? Is it just me?
No, you sound good now. You sound good now.
Okay. I'm in year 2027 of my college football dynasty. And tell you what, Quincy Porter put on a little bit of weight. Daddy's got him playing tight end. But yeah. I could see totally getting off topic and technical issues. No, well, I could see Ennis being that number 1, Quincy Porter 2. Then you throw Mylan Graham out there.
Yeah.
Keep it running, keep it rolling. Don't change nothing. Obviously, this week is a big week of practice. I mean, you're going to see, even if they intend to play, you can anticipate Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, being limited in practice even. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of those other 2 receivers as well. Obviously, we talked about the Greek water pistol. We know Kyle Monangai is playing for the Chicago Bears, and he had a phenomenal week 2 weeks ago. Who's the lead rusher on this team now? Is it
Antoine Raymond, right?
That's what I thought. Raymond, that's the one. No, I can. Yeah. What did we take for the spread on this one, my friend?
Yeah. What is the spread?
That is a good question because that's the one score that the game we're talking about. That's the one score I didn't post on here. Buckeyes favored by 30.5 as of earlier today.
Yeah, it's gone up to 31.5. I'm still taking Ohio State, dude. I think that they remain focused. I think that even if the backups play, the backups will be focused, and they're going to look to pad their stats and do what they need to do. Rutgers wants to be bowl eligible. They're not focused on Ohio State. They're focused on Penn State. So
I would agree. I would agree. We do have some pretty big Big Ten games this week, my friends. Starting it off, Minnesota travels to Northwestern, where Northwestern is a 3.5-point favorite. This game is noon on the Big Ten Network. Minnesota, the Golden Gophers, the Wildcats. Who you got?
Yeah, so this is another game at Wrigley Field.
Is it really?
I believe so. I think the last
back-to-back. Okay.
I believe so.
Or is the last? Okay.
And then obviously Minnesota got fucking destroyed by Oregon last week. Had money on that. That was an obvious bet, right? Minnesota looked completely underarmed. Northwestern gave it their all against Michigan, dude. They gave it their all against Michigan, bro.
They certainly did.
They looked good. Northwestern definitely has a pulse. I'm still going to take Minnesota. I'm getting the 3.5 points. So you're going to give me the underdog, a team that's going to try to come back and look good. Plus, playing Michigan's a body blow game. Northwestern's going to be exhausted.
I can definitely see that. I'm going to go opposite with you on this one, just for some just to be contrarian. Yeah, listen, they got their lumps last week against Michigan. Obviously, at the same time, they gave it their all, came down to a field goal. At the same time, you got to think about, those playing conditions at Wrigley. I think there was,
Yep.
Getting an extra week at that, at that baseball stadium, if you would, gets them a little bit more prepared. I think that you see them, try to air the ball out or maybe get a little bit more east and west than, just right up the gut that they were trying to counter Michigan with all week. But wild to see the Storm bringing Zavada out on their shoulders after it, like it was a high school playoff game or something. That was funny. Oski wow. No one cares about Ohio State. Blah blah blah. It seems like we've got an Illini fan here. Bot roster not recruited. Oh,
Oski, if you got legit criticism, bro, we'll talk. We can go the opposite side of that. What do you hate about Ohio State? How can I defend Ohio State? The bot roster though, that was last year, dude. This year, pretty much most of the team was recruited to Ohio State. Now you could make the case that they bought the recruits, which is fair, but yeah, not a lot of transfers. Aaron brings up a good point here, though. Yeah, Michigan had 5 turnovers and still fucking. And Northwestern still
pulled that game off.
Yeah. I think Aaron might have convinced me, dude. I think I might actually put real money on Minnesota, bro.
Okay. I like it.
I had real money on Michigan too last week, so I had a good week though. I had a good week though.
Did you?
That was not a good game.
You didn't end up in the red, huh?
No. We were good. Nice. We did a good week. Another good week in a row. Not in the NFL though, dude. NFL was rough for me.
I'm sure it was. Even being a Cleveland Browns fan, I'm sure it was rough. A lot of emotions
against the Browns. That was one of the games I lost. The Ravens were given like 7.5, dude.
Oh my goodness. 1.5 hour later, we've got Michigan State Spartans traveling to Iowa in Kinnick Stadium. Iowa is a 16.5-point favorite. You can catch this game at 12:30 on Fox Sports 1. Who are you taking in this one, my friend?
I'm taking Iowa, dude. Iowa's legit good. Michigan State blows. Jonathan Smith is fighting for his job. I don't think that he should be. Jonathan Smith, in my opinion, was a bad hire. Okay? What he did at Oregon State felt a little gimmicky and random.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I don't think it was like 2 years. I don't know. There just wasn't enough meat on the bone for me to like that hire.
No.
Michigan State, you could get whoever you want, really. But I wouldn't fire him. He's only been there for 2 years. There have been flashes. But the flashes weren't last week, my friend. They got fucking destroyed by Penn State. So
they got destroyed, and I completely.
And Iowa looked good. Yes. Iowa looked good against USC. USC finished them off, but Iowa looks tough the last 2 weeks, without question. Yeah. Won that bet too with Iowa.
They even in 2 back-to-back losses, they represented the Big Ten well.
Yeah, they looked tough.
Both of them, they looked tough.
Good too. Iowa offense. This is not the Iowa offenses of old. Someone's going to run into Iowa in the bowl game and not have a good fucking time.
I can definitely see that. But like I said, with Jonathan Smith, you're absolutely right. I didn't think that 2 years at Oregon State was enough of a sample size, but I don't think the 2 years with the roster he has at Michigan State and the climate of the rest of the Big Ten is enough of a sample size to fire him either. But give me Iowa, give me the points without question.
Well, and it kind of felt to it Oregon State. We'll have to maybe we'll do that in the offseason and is to dive into guys we like, why we don't like, and why maybe they were successful. We don't understand it because I think at Oregon State too, he kind of benefited from the transfer portal, but it was like trickle down effect from USC and Oregon. You're not going to do that at Michigan State because Michigan State wants to compete with Michigan and the big dogs. Michigan State is a big dog. They're just down in their dumps. So I just don't know. I don't know if what he brings to the table is going to work at Michigan State, but I wouldn't fire him though.
No, I wouldn't either. Big game, College Game Day is going to be at Eugene, Oregon, when the USC Trojans come into town and take on the Oregon Ducks, who are a 10-point favorite. This is a noon 30 game. It is on CBS. Big game of the week.
Yeah. It looks
biggest Big Ten, probably the biggest Big Ten game of the week. This one has a lot of playoff implications. This is kind of do or die week.
Yeah, I think this might be the biggest game in college football. If USC wins, one of these teams is pretty much going to entrench their spot in the playoffs, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. The spread's gone up 10.5. I'm still going to take Oregon. I think Oregon dashes the hope of USC because Oregon's just too good. Oregon looked good last week. USC has always slipped by. They've squeaked one in. They've slipped in. I don't think that you can do that against Oregon. I think that the gap is too big.
Now, let me ask you this. Would you be changing your tune if this was played in the Coliseum?
No.
Nope. You'd be standing firm on this one?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, Iowa was playing in the Coliseum, and they were hanging tough, dude. Oregon doesn't have to skip over fucking 2 time zones.
Very valid. We've got some comments here. Aaron jumps in. Give me USC. Yep, might be the final playoff spot. Okay, no, I see it. I think I'm going to take Oregon in this one. I don't think they win by 10, but I'm here to tell you if we finally see that. And it's hard because, the Big Ten has ushered in UCLA and Washington and USC. And, the first 2 years, they kind of got popped in the mouth and had to get acclimated to what the Big Ten is. And a couple of them almost got scared. We watched 2 weeks ago. We almost watched Oregon get upset and their playoff chances get dashed.
Yes.
I'd like to see, I want to say, hey, I want to see USC come back and be the USC of old, be competitive. They are competitive. They're competing for a college football playoff spot. But I want to see them take that next step. And I just don't. It's crazy to say, like, I want to see them do well in this Big Ten matchup with these two schools that used to be in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
Now they're Big Ten schools. But I'm taking Oregon in this one. I'm taking it because they're gonna, we can sit at how many losses can you have and be in the college football playoffs? I don't think it's that. I think you've got to hit that 10-win mark. That's what I think. You hit 10 wins and you're in. And I think Oregon punches their 10th win this week in a very close game that comes down to the wire. Oregon by a field goal.
Oh, so you would bet on USC though?
I would bet on USC, yes.
Yeah, man. The problem with USC is that they play like pussies, man. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like they just play like someone who's like, it's like, bro, you're good, but you're just not. There's something missing there. When you watch them, you always feel like something's missing, but they are good. I'm not saying they're not good. It's just
they're very talented. They're very talented, but you see at times their play style looks a little nimbly-pimbly, if you would. It looks like let's get back there and just kind of just backyard and kind of just wait for some receivers to get open.
Exactly. Yeah. They're just they don't look tough. They never look like they're dominating any game. They kind of remind me of like Alabama. Alabama's kind of like that, where it's like, when you watch Alabama, they never fucking smush anybody. It's always kind of like they gotta slip it out. They gotta,
Mm-hmm. No, I can see that without question. Michigan, 14-point favorites, travel to Maryland, 4:00 on the Big Ten Network. We commented last week, and we got Will chiming back in, put Wisconsin in there too. Big Ten needs USC, Nebraska, MSU back. Oh, okay.
Yeah, all these teams, every team in the Big Ten is capable of being a fucking powerhouse. But as long as Loxley's in Maryland, that's not going to happen. Did you see that motherfucker, their athletic director, come out and talk about him like he's the best coach ever in the history of Maryland football? Like, dude, what are you fucking talking about? Ralph Friedgen had him in the goddamn Orange Bowl, bro. Didn't fucking Ryan coach there too?
Yeah, you're right. Just imagine if some of these coaches had the love of their ADs like that.
Dude.
Wild.
He's fucking horrible. I'm taking Michigan. Michigan looked like shit last week, but Maryland shitter. So
yes, Maryland is in fact shittier. Obviously,
dude,
we commented last week on Justice Haynes undergoing that tightrope surgery in hopes of coming back before the Ohio State-Michigan game. Those hopes have been dashed. It was announced Saturday that Justice Haynes will be out for the regular season. You will not see Justin Haynes in this game. You will not see him in the Ohio State game. You might or might not see him if they make a college football playoff berth or a bowl game. But no Justin Haynes. Yeah, they look bad. How many interceptions from our boy this week?
2. We throw 2.
You threw 2, and they're pretty bad ones too, weren't they?
He was trying to make shit happen. You know what I mean? It's just there were his receivers don't
They're
really
terrible.
get open either. Yeah, like the best receiver is Donovan McCauley, and Indiana was basically like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Shoot.
They arguably might have one of the worst receiving cores in the Big Ten.
Yeah, dude. And I want to be very clear too. No, he threw 5 interceptions. All 5 turnovers were interceptions, bro.
Okay. I wasn't gonna fucking call you out right here, but
Holy
I
shit.
feel like he threw a lot more picks than that, my friend.
Damn.
Yeah. So, well, he actually finished. Well, hold on now. He threw 2 picks, was sacked 3 times. He threw for 280 yards. Did he fumble?
No, dude. It says he threw.
I don't think he threw 5 picks, but he had a shit
Oh
game.
no, he didn't. I'm sorry. I was looking at season stats. Well, here, let's figure this out.
He's only thrown 5 picks all season. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Yeah, he threw 2. I was right. He threw 2 interceptions last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron chimes in. They had one of the worst wide receiver groups last year.
But I want. Yeah, but I do want to be clear. Bryce Underwood has not played well. Let's be real though, right? The receivers suck, and maybe that would have masked some of his. He's going to be there. I should. There is a chance that he becomes good. There are clearly flashes of him being very good, but he has not been very good. He have not been able to put the team on his back whenever it's third, and he has the third and. He has to fucking throw the ball. Your butt cheeks tighten up. Like I have zero. When I watch Michigan, like I said, I had money on them last week. When I knew that he had to fucking make something happen, I had no confidence. None at all. And that's not his. It's not all his fault. He's young. I want to be very clear, right? Because someone's gonna chop this up in 4 years when he wins the Heisman. But it's like there's no. He just looks rough. He looks fucking rough. He looks like someone out there.
I went on my Instagram and posted a picture. He threw for 280 yards, but threw 2 picks. He's lighting up the world. Most sensational freshman. We had a mutual friend of ours went on there and messaged me. He said, "Well, last time I checked, Michigan beat Ohio State last season with a cancer kid." So, and I said, "Damn, you're right."
Who said that?
Nick Coran. Nice talking. Yeah. I like yucking it up with him on there. He always he's always got a great Ohio State Michigan retort. I do love it. Shout out. Does Underwood stay eventually? You make a business decision to go somewhere you have an offensive talent around you until you make it to the NFL. I don't know what tomorrow looks like, Will. I don't know. I know Michigan's got a good recruiting class come in. I know that. I know they got some targets that some players the Buckeyes were targeting that are coming on over there, but I could see it. Don't tell me there's nothing I couldn't see in this day and age of college football. Yeah, sure, I could see it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot of money.
I don't know what the fuck's going on, dude. You know what I mean? Like, he could transfer tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
We're going to move on. Nebraska heads to Happy Valley to take on Penn State, where they are a 9.5-point favorites. This is a 7 o'clock NBC game, so that's going to take fucking forever. Josh, who you got?
Yeah, dude, give me Penn State, bro. I know Penn State's favored by almost 10 points, but they're at home. They've looked good. They've looked good. They've looked tough.
I got to get this pointing thing wrong because I'm always mirrored. We're right there. Yeah. See, making too much money. Penn State did look good.
Else might pay him more. But Penn State's been looking more competent. Nebraska, I know they're coming off the bye week, but Nebraska's been Nebraska. And of course, that young quarterback, we talked about him last week or 2 weeks ago, he did look good. So I'm still going to go with Penn State at home. Penn State at home.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be snowy, cold.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a cold, snowy game, night game in Happy Valley. You're going to, take some of these seniors out the right way. Give me Penn State all day, all night, without question. Illinois, 8.5-point favorites traveling to Camp Randall to take on the Wisconsin Badgers. This is 7:30 on Big Ten Network. You taking how much you taking Illinois by?
Dude, you know what's funny? The spread's gone down to 8, so I don't know if we might be to 7.5. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I know Wisconsin's looked more competent recently. They look pretty. They they looked okay against Indiana. If I'm being honest with you, last week,
they looked okay for the first quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first
they're
half.
competing.
What was the score at the end of the half? I don't remember them getting their ass. I don't remember them going into halftime being like, "Oh, it's over."
Yeah. No, I was surprised when I looked at that score.
Yeah, it was 10-7 going into half, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't until the second half where Indiana kind of exploded. But yeah, man,
when you say exploded, they scored 3 more touchdowns to Wisconsin's 1. So
fair. Yeah, you're right. So so Wisconsin definitely, credit to them. They've kind of figured out their shit. But with that said, Illinois is good. Illinois beat the fuck out of who they beat Maryland last week. We've talked about Illinois being good the whole time. I'm gonna roll with Indiana. I'm gonna roll with Illinois.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Illinois as well. Yeah, no, give me the points as well. We all start, this season before it began, we anticipated Illinois, topping their 9-3 regular season record of the year prior. That's not going to happen. The best they can finish is 9-3. But hey, if you're in the Big Ten and you're looking at 10 wins, you had a good season. That's in today's day and age.
They're on the outside.
If you're not Ohio State, obviously.
No. I was going to say I think that they are out of the playoff hunt. I would think
so.
But there is an opportunity if there's a bunch of 9-3 teams, and let's say Duke wins the ACC, which I don't think they're going to, but let's say they do. They're still not technically out of it. And Illinois beat Duke, and your other 9-3 teams are, I don't know, let's say Alabama, who's lost to Florida State. I don't know. That's an impressive, because the 3 losses at that point would be Indiana, who theoretically is number 2, Ohio State, who's number 1, and then who was their 3rd loss? Michigan?
Yes. Hold on, I'll tell you now.
Who's also in the play? I think all 3 of their losses were to teams that are in the playoffs. Basically.
Washington. They didn't play Michigan this year. They lost to Washington.
That's right. But that's still not – I don't think they get in, but it is something to monitor.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't want to open this damn can of worms. You can say if Alabama's sitting there with 3 fucking losses, then obviously there's something wrong. Look at my camera focus. But every argument with Alabama, they have the worst loss, but they also have the best loss. We're not going to do that shit on this podcast. Last Big Ten game of Week 13, Washington, 10.5-point favorites going to UCLA, 10:30 East Coast on NBC. Now, my question for you. Is this the last home game for UCLA and before they move to the SoFi Stadium possibly?
Dude, that's what they're talking about. I don't really know why they want to do that. But I also don't know the logistics, right? I talked to some people that are like, it's a horrible decision. It's fucking stupid, which I agree with on the outside looking in. But then some people I talked to are like, dude, SoFi is way closer to the stadium. They're getting 3 people that go to the Rose Bowl. They might get, but I don't know how that would be possible, because if they're going to SoFi, theoretically they're going to pay SoFi prices. But I guess if they don't own the Rose Bowl, does the Rose Bowl what? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
What becomes of the Rose Bowl?
Well, you remember going to those Destroyers games. You went to the Destroyers game for $10, but the prices at the concessions were Blue Jackets prices.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So that put a damper on things. So if you're a college kid looking to get wasted at the UCLA game, and you can't do that anymore, I don't know. I don't know enough about the logistics to have a strong opinion about it, I think is the issue.
Okay. And who are you taking in this one?
Oh, Washington, dude. Washington's going to smoke them.
Washington's going to smoke them. Washington's going to get their 8th win of the season. I like that. I'm going to go in the same train with you that one. I think Washington wins.
Washington smoked Purdue. I mean, Washington looked really good against Purdue.
Yeah, I did. I did catch the recap of that one without question. Will Thompson, really, why would you want to do that no college atmosphere? Dollars and cents, my friend. Dollars and cents.
Yeah, I just don't know enough about the economics of it. I think it's a bad move right now.
But honestly,
if someone wanted to explain it to me, I would be certainly willing to listen. And as far as the college atmosphere goes, that's part of the issue. There is no college atmosphere.
There we go. There's no college atmosphere to be spoke of at the moment, honestly, Will. I don't want to miss Doug. I want to miss Doug here. Gabe Van Sickle played a mean right guard. You probably take minutes from Tegra, huh?
He probably will.
He did play pretty good, didn't he? He did play pretty damn good.
Yeah. Well, and then Tegra's looked like a shit ton.
Yeah.
But yeah, but maybe that's one of the problems too, is that UCLA is looking at it like, what can we do now? In the real reality of the UCLA football is that no one's going to give a fuck if they're playing football in the goddamn Coliseum in Rome if they don't fucking put a product out on the field. It's garbage. It's a garbage product. You got to go fucking hire a big fish, get it fucking rolling. You got to get the money. You know what I mean? Like they don't. There's nothing there. There's no emphasis to watch UCLA football right now. It's one of the worst teams.
I can see a Big Ten rotation happening there. I'd love. We would all like to see more games played there. The night game, what have you. The stadium's obviously beautiful, but I think
the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think they're pretty firm on Indianapolis being in that, keeping it right there in the Midwest. But I'd like to see it. Why not?
I kind of wish. I wish if it were up to me, I would make the Big Ten championship game. I guess you can't do that. It's just it feels like with the expanded playoffs, we need to have more home and away games. Like we need to not have so many neutral site games.
I would agree. I like that.
But maybe I don't know. I don't know how you would do that because I mean, theoretically, if you have Ohio State and Indiana undefeated at the end of the year, who gets the home field? That's why they need divisions, bro. Well, whatever. Anyways, we'll talk about that in the offseason, trying to fix the Big Ten.
We absolutely will. Well, that wraps this week of the Ohio State of Mind podcast. Josh, did we miss anything? Anything we're looking forward to this week?
No, but let's do our weekly exercise right before we go, where we pull up the AP poll and we figure out who is the top-ranked one-loss team, the top-ranked two-loss team, and the top-ranked three-loss team, and figure out how many of them are the SEC teams.
Okay, I like that.
I feel like we need to really do this more often to emphasize the bullshit that's happening because it's never been more clear.
We've got 5 minutes. Why not? Here we go. Let's pull it on up. I'm going to hit this. We're going to screen. Here we go. All right. We've got the AP poll pulled up, the top 25 teams. Obviously. Okay. Oh, I hate this fucking layout. What did we do? 1 second. Look at us. First time on here. All right.
Okay.
Obviously, the first loss, obviously Alabama took that loss this weekend. They've jumped all the way down to number 10 in the AP poll, behind Notre Dame, who is a two-loss team, behind Oklahoma, they lost to Oklahoma, another two-loss team.
So Oklahoma is the top-ranked two-loss team. So Georgia's the top-ranked one-loss team.
I think that's just. Yep, and I think it's just.
You think it's just?
I think it's just. I think that they're starting to play a lot tougher. I think Gunnar Stockton is coming to his own, and their one loss is against Alabama, and I don't think you're going to fight it.
It was at home.
It was at home.
That should be noted.
Okay. I'm with you there.
Because Texas Tech lost away.
Yes.
Right. So that should also be noted, right?
And they were missing a quarterback.
Yeah, I think you could make an argument for either one. Okay.
I could see an argument for that. I won't argue Ole Miss. I'm not going to argue a Lane Kiffin coach team.
But you could, and I wouldn't call you because that was also away too.
Yeah.
Right. So you could make an argument. That's fine. Two-loss team. Oklahoma's the top-ranked two-loss team.
Yes.
So they lost to Texas. They got blown out by Texas.
Yes, they did.
Blown out.
A game in which their quarterback probably shouldn't have been playing it.
Blown out.
Yes.
And then they lost at home to an Ole Miss team.
Yes, and they're sitting at 5.
Okay. Now let's look at Notre Dame's two losses. Right at the beginning of the year, by a combined 4 points to Miami and Texas A&M.
Yes.
Now they lost since then it's been shit, but I don't know.
But they're two top 14 teams. Have you?
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
But you're I think that it became more polarizing last year than anything. They're like, oh my God, Notre Dame can go lose 2 games every single year and always make the college football playoffs, not being in a conference.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, but again, if you got 2 losses this year, they're 2 good losses. They're combined 4 points.
I'm only comparing them to the other 2 lost teams. Like,
Yes,
what
agreed.
does Oklahoma, who got blown the fuck out, deserve to be above Notre Dame, who lost 7 weeks ago, their first 2 games of the year, by a combined?
I don't think so.
With one, yeah, I think that's a little bit of a bullshit thing. And they're all ranked ahead of a BYU team who's got 1 fucking loss that was at Texas Tech.
Yes.
So again, I'm not saying
who could arguably be the number 1 loss team. Yes, I'm picking up what you're putting down here.
That's the key. Arguably, right?
Yes,
that's fine. Let's move on to the top 3 loss team, and it is Texas. So far, they've all been SEC schools that have been the top ranked teams, right?
3 losses. Yep.
Yeah, and Texas has lost to Ohio State, which is fine. It was a close loss away. They lost to Florida. That's not fine. Florida's not going to. Florida fired their coach. What's Florida's record?
They were hoping to win last week against Ole Miss, so maybe Lane Kiffin wouldn't go to the college football playoffs. Maybe he would come and sign in Florida here in this window coming up here this winter.
Which I don't know why you'd want to hire Lane Kiffin. That guy. I mean, he's an exciting coach, but he's shittier than James Franklin. He's worse than James Franklin. I don't get that. Florida's a 3-win team, by the way.
Yes.
Florida's 3-7.
3-7. Yes.
And Texas lost to them. And then they got the shit kicked out of them by Georgia, and they're the top 3 loss team. They're the top 3 loss team. They're ranked higher than a 2-loss Michigan.
Yep.
A 2-loss Virginia. Whose both losses, neither one of them were blowout, and one of them was away. And they're even ranked higher than a 1-loss with James Madison, whose only loss is away at Louisville. They got blown the fuck out, but not really. I don't know, dude. Like, that's fucking – the Texas one feels like bullshit. And then you have Missouri just slipping it in there at number 23. Now, why does the Missouri one piss me off so much? Because they have 0 wins against anybody with a winning fucking record.
Valid.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not taking Central Arkansas in consideration. I know what Central Arkansas is. Don't give a fuck, right? Because they're right. I guess I should. They have no wins against a team in the FBS with a winning record. Kansas 500. Louisiana has a losing record. South Carolina, they got 3 fucking wins. UMass may be the worst college football team of all time. Okay,
you're right.
They lost, and then they lost to Auburn in 2 overtimes, who also does not have a winning record, and Mississippi State. They have no wins against a team with a winning record, yet they're ranked 23rd with 3 fucking losses, ahead of a team like Houston, who's only got 2 losses, 1 to Texas fucking Tech, who's we all said is good.
Yes.
Right? Now the other one's to West Virginia, so that one's not good, but that's only 2 losses. I don't know. It's fucking crazy, bro. It's crazy. Why would Missouri be ranked but Illinois not? Tell me why Missouri's resume is better than Illinois or Navy. Pick Navy.
Well, I mean, I tell you the biggest thing is those 3 losses for Texas. They're all on the road. They can't leave Texas.
They can't. Yeah. Which would be okay if one of the losses wasn't too. Again, I'm not saying that Texas shouldn't be ranked in the top 25. Missouri. I am saying that Missouri's only ranked in the top 25 because they're in the SEC.
Well,
Texas,
we're talking a Texas team that can't win on the road, and we're talking a Missouri team that hasn't played anybody and won't go on the road.
Yes, and Texas. One of Texas's losses is to a Florida team that's got 3 fucking wins, so that's horrible, right? But I do understand that. But as far as they did beat the shit out of Oklahoma. They did beat a Vanderbilt team, which at the time I think was undefeated or had 1 loss or whatever. So there are enough wins in there to where I'm not mad that they're ranked the top 25. I'm just mad that they're automatically assumed to be the best. They're not just ranked the top 25. They're the top ranked 3-loss team. Like there's still a chance for them to go to the playoffs, dude.
Yeah,
They're 4 out. They're 3 out, or no, 5 out of it.
No, I agree. And we've talked about an Illinois team. Who do they lose to? They've lost to teams that are ranked other than Washington. But I'm not going to bat an eye. Yeah, which isn't Florida, which isn't 3-win Florida. Kiffin, what has he done? Coordinator for Bama for a couple of years. Everyone loves Kiffin for his personality. They like that he's fly at the pressers. They like that he's active on social media. That polarizes something. Not me, but
dude, I have no interest in fucking Kiffin. I would have if Ohio State hired Lane Kiffin tomorrow. I'd be like, bro, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Or like, I'm trying to think. Like, if UCLA hired Lane Kiffin, I'd be like, dude, wrong fucking way, bro. Like, Lane Kiffin, he'll never win anything at Ole Miss.
No,
he just won't. I mean, I guess he would, dude. If you can't win, now that we see what Jackson Dart is, like he didn't get a fucking chance. Remember, dude? No, Lane Kiffin can't fucking do shit.
Well, this has been the Ohio State of Mind podcast. As always, I'm Chris. He's Josh. We will be back next week. We will talk hopefully a Buckeye victory over the Scarlet Knights. We will preview the game, Ohio State at Michigan. We're praying for favorable field conditions in that one. And we will look at what the AP polls look like after they drop tomorrow night. But each and every one of you, Will, Doug, Aaron, all you guys, thanks for jumping back in. We appreciate you as always. You make this show run a lot smoother. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely.
Anything fun this week, my friend? Just work?
Just watching football, man. You know, I had a pretty good week last week. You know, we'll be following the drama with the Miami, Ohio quarterback, DeQuan Finn. Just walking off. A lot of rumors. A lot of rumors.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we talked about that. But
yeah. So there's a lot of small schools. The D3 playoffs start this weekend too. I think there's 2 Ohio schools in it, John Carroll and Mount Union. So I might try to turn those on. I watched the Grey Cup last night. Saw Shea Patterson fumble in the end zone for the Alouettes.
I saw that as well.
Our boy AJ Olette, OU grad running back for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, got his 3rd Grey Cup ring.
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of cool. But I would have liked to see Austin Mack get a ring. He was at the Alouettes, but shit happens.
It happens. Have a good one, guys. Will, you take care. We will see you guys next week. Same time, same YouTube channel. And, of course, as always, go Bucks.